we are at a pivotal moment in history. There isn't any way to deny it. We'd like to think it was something else, but we're hoping that it's more political than it is biblical. We'd like to think that it was not prophetic. Somebody asked me yesterday what I thought about what's happening, especially in the Middle East, and I said to her, I said, listen, it isn't like we weren't warned. It isn't like we weren't told, and we could be seeing it. Let's talk a little bit more about it. All right. Fresh off his visit and a short trip to the G7 in Canada, President Donald Trump is spending this morning in the White House Situation Room. They're going over the option to use as the Iranian regime refuses to surrender its nuclear program. And unless they're forced to, they're not going to. Unless they are forced to, they're not going to. We learned a long time ago when we were doing programs on Blog Talk Radio that regime is not going to just say, "Oh, you're right, we shouldn't do this," and we're being looked at as bad actors on the planet, so it was never going to happen. And there are voices that say that they are weeks away, if they haven't already, with their uranium enrichment program, to where they could have a weapons ready uranium supply, which they may already have. And it's not without saying that if maybe some of the monies that were frozen to them had stayed frozen, they'd be at least a few months more away, maybe years away. Maybe they would have never been able to. But the last administration made them flush with money. Can't leave that out. We cannot leave that out. But the president had said something that we have not heard in a while, if ever. What he said is that he's not looking. A reporter asked him on Air Force One, what are you looking for here? And he said, an end, a real end, not a ceasefire, an end. And this is something that a lot of us, meaning Americans, don't really get. We got a dude who's like, you know what? I don't want to put a Band-Aid on any of this. I want this to stop. The same thing with all the conflicts. I don't want a Band-Aid. I want it to stop. He doesn't want a Band-Aid on the Russian-Ukrainian war. He wants it to stop. And when he said, and it's amazing that when he says, I want the killing of young men to end, that the American press and the American left have a problem with that. I want it to end. I want young men to stop dying. Otherwise, they'll be dying needlessly and endlessly. Because what he knows about, and this isn't necessarily about Ukraine and Russia, but what he knows about that is that eventually Russia will win. Unless it's World War III, Russia will win, and a lot of Ukrainian men will die. A lot of Russian young men will die for no reason. And this is somehow seen as radical. Weird, don't you think? U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee, who in this guy's opinion should have been president, I'm just saying, y'all, who has been in and out of a bomb shelter since last Thursday night, knows the situation is serious and is urging the president to listen to God to make his decisions. Now, Mike Huckabee, a former Baptist pastor, and one heck of a bass player. I think he plays a Warburton bass. one heck of a bass player, says this. He says, Mr. President, God spared you in Butler, PA, to be the most consequential president in a century, maybe ever. Huckabee wrote to Trump from the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem. The U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem, where Trump said it needed to be moved to, and did that. The decisions are on your shoulders. I would not want to be made by anyone else. You have many voices speaking to you, sir, but there's only one voice that matters. His voice. Huckabee continues, I am your appointed servant in this land, and I am available to you, but I do not try to get in your presence often because I trust your instincts. No president in my lifetime has been in a position like yours. Not since Truman in 1945. I don't reach out to persuade you, only to encourage you. I believe that you will hear from heaven, and that voice is far more important than mine or anyone else's. You sent me to Israel to be your eyes, your ears, and voice to make sure our flag flies above our embassy. My job is to be the last to leave, he continued. I will not abandon this post. Our flag will not come down. You did not seek this moment. This moment sought you. It is my honor to serve you. Wow. I told you that I should be president. I warned you guys. He should have been president all along. Meanwhile, Iran is still launching ballistic missiles into Israel. After days of direct hits in major population centers, they're being shot down by a number of defense systems, including Israeli fighter jets over Iran and the U.S. THAAD system in the region. Our flag will not come down. Thanks, Mike. God bless you. God protect you.